Now in theaters, actually, as I record this, it's been in theaters for a little while. By the time you see this, it may be on streaming. The new film from Robert Eggers, who gave us The Witch and The Lighthouse, is The Northman. Also, yeah, I guess he has a pattern of doing movies with two words in the title that start with The. The Northman, which stars Alexander Skarsgård in a tale of Nordic revenge. This is gritty. This is not quite as strange, let's say, as the other Eggers films. The Witch, well, I guess The Witch wasn't that strange. It was pretty straightforward. But he does these art house, kind of gritty art house, semi-horror. They're almost like genre films, but extremely art house films. So The Northman stars, as I said, Alexander Sarsgard, and he plays this young prince on this sort of coastal town, let's say, somewhere in the Nordic territories back in the Viking days. And he is reunited with his father, who's been away on a crusade for a long time. The father, the king, is played by Ethan Hawke. The mother is played by Nicole Kidman. And it was a little bit funny because, I go to the AMC all the time. And AMC has this little We Make Movies Better prologue that they play right before your movie starts, with Nicole Kidman walking into a theater and basically singing the virtues of cinema. And a lot of people hate it and think it's cheesy and funny. I don't know. I get caught up with the wistfulness and the whimsy of the magic of movies, so I'm a sucker for that sort of thing. So I don't mind. But it was funny to see her do that, and then within like 2 minutes, she's on screen acting in a movie that hasn't happened to me yet. Anyway, so this little boy, young innocent little boy, is told that he has to become tougher and become a man because sooner or later he's going to have to be king, and he doesn't really have it in him to fight enemies and sling swords and disembowel people and so forth. And not long after he's gone through this sort of like sweat lodge trial by fire with his father, Ethan Hawke. Ethan, and this is in the trailer, I'm not going to give away much more than this. Ethan Hawke is murdered by somebody close to the family, and the little boy runs away to escape being slaughtered, as most of his townspeople are when this new person takes over the kingdom. And he swears revenge, and he keeps repeating over and over, as you see in the trailer. I will probably get it wrong. How I get it wrong, I don't know, because I saw this trailer in front of every movie for like 2 months, and I go to the movies a lot. It's like, I will avenge you, father. I will save you, mother. I will kill you, bad guy. And Val and I, as we've been watching it endlessly, she leans over to me at one point during that trailer and she says, I will eat you, cheeseburger. And that just cracked me up. So every time I saw the trailer, I expected, I will avenge you, father. I will save you, mother. I will kill you, whoever. I will eat you, cheeseburger. And he never eats a cheeseburger in the movie. Spoiler. So this film becomes a tale of, it's sort of like Conan. Some friends of mine have said, oh, it's the Conan remake. I wouldn't call it that, but there are parallels. So the little boy runs off and he becomes, a guy who rows a boat, gets muscular, and swears revenge, hooks up with a pack of, I don't know all of the terminology, let's say marauders, let's say brutarians, barbarians, something like that. And he basically keeps at it, keeps himself in fighting trim shape with his sword and battle and hatchet skills, laying waste to the land side until he comes upon the person who wronged him. And then he plays a little bit of the long game so that he can save his mother and avenge his father and kill this guy. So this film is very well made. It does have flights of artistic fancy where you see some very fantasy style, not like, airbrush painting on the side of a van, but or Frazetta painting fantasy, but fantasy of the mind or poetic imagery detailing the inner thoughts and motivations of our main character, Skarsgård. It's got a lot of ripped, shirtless dudes covered in mud screaming. So for those who really dug on 300 for those aspects, I would say The Northman has a lot of that for you too. If you want to see a musculature of Sarsgard shirtless, this film delivers. I think it's right on the poster. He's very good in it. Everybody's quite good in it. It does have a bit of a twist at one point, which I didn't necessarily see coming, and changes the dynamic of everything, which is very interesting. And I thought it was good. It is an art house film, so I don't know if mainstream audiences will like it as much. I think they will, because it has the theme of revenge and family, and it's very well shot and well scored, and the performances are good. It does have a little, I wouldn't call it old English, but it does have a little bit of old-timey speech patterns that might take a little bit of getting used to. It's not like The Witch, where they really spoke kind of old English through most of it. This is all, English. There's some subtitles here and there too, but it's not so bad, if that's a bad thing to you. But overall, it's like a good manly adventure movie. It is sort of like a Conan thing, or like, I haven't seen Lee Majors in The Norseman in long enough to tell you if it's anything like that, but it's good. It's gritty. It's still in theaters. It should be in theaters probably for a bit longer from when I record this, and then it will, as is the fate of all films, it will live its life out on streaming and home video. But I would recommend, if you're up for some brutality, because there is some gore and some brutality in here, some fine hatchet killings, I would say check out The Northman.